So it's been 5 years in the making. When I started out, all I ever did wanted was to make a video on the law of attraction, um, and I wanted to make it because I was excited about it. I was I was happy to share my experiences. I share in Facebook group. Spiritual people don't like it because quote unquote because they know quote unquote think they know everything, but they don't. Because I know that this has been an issue in the spiritual law of attraction awakened community. Clearly see it now than I did back then. Um, and when I make a couple of videos of the law of attraction, I did gain traction, but I didn't have enough confidence. I was scared. I was afraid to tell what they don't want to hear. I didn't want it to risk offending them because I knew something that the law of attraction people didn't know because I took my time and study and practice in a subject that they aren't aware of, and I want them to slowly uh, come to realize that there's more to life than law of attraction. Everybody want more. That's just human nature. Nobody want less. Everybody want more, greater things in life. That is just human nature. Like even if the Buddhism teaches like you shouldn't have desire, everybody want desire something, whether it's something that make them happy, their needs. And I was so afraid of risking losing some valuable subscriber, which I did because and it was a older guy, very old, probably older than he's older than me, but because I said you got to take action, he got offended by that, and that hurt me, and I felt so many times, and it made me frustrated that I wanted to tell them that there's no magic bullet, there's no magic pill that you can take just to solve all your problem. This thing take time and effort because I knew that, but people in the law of attraction have this magical thinking. Like I believe in magic. There's real. There is this weird thing where you focus enough your energy, your positive mental attitude, whatever, and you set that in motion. Good things happen. But the problem is, it's not just enough, right? So I knew that because I've been watching Ty Lopez. I've been watching Gary. I think I was in not as much, but I was into other things, and I knew that. And I also was watching network marketing video. I think Eric Worre and Matt Morris and other people, uh, but I didn't have enough confidence to do what I do now, and so I was frustrated. So I went. So what does this have to do with this video? Is it better to execute on the idea, or is it better to strategize? I said both because you won't know until you execute on the idea. You don't know what happened. You don't you won't know the results if you don't try out that idea or execute on that idea, right? And I've been strategizing this plan of mine for a very long time to disrupt something which I am afraid of doing because it's scary. Because if you're if people have this bias, a very confirmed belief about this thing, and you can't break out of it, it's hard. So Ty Lopez tried to do that, right? Ty Lopez tried to tell the law of attraction people, the psychic or the spiritual or the metaphysical for a very long time that you learn from someone else the idea, right? But he didn't have the experience. He didn't have the experience that I had, and this is where I'm finishing his job for him because he have a different audiences, and I have a very and I understand my audiences very well because I have to know more than they do. Because especially law of attraction people, they don't want to learn more. Um, they don't want to um, try to because there's so in order to I have to understand my audience so well, or who I'm targeting so well, then I need to help them break through that barrier. And also to enable to disrupt something, I need to be them. I need to become them because I am them. Because I have the experience of the there's no coincidence that I can just focus my energy, things come. I try all that. I was in the law of attraction mindset, where they say, I remember I put out a lot of video on my old YouTube channel. It's like, you create your own reality. You get to make your own choices. You get to be free of the dogmatic view of people thinking or the average. I did that. But somehow I felt frustrated. So I start to, because books for me are a part of my strategy, right? This book, A Playing to Win, how strategy really works, wins. Everything I do, I strategize how I can win. Not to compete with the law of attraction, because I want to help them the most. Not to compete with spiritual people. I want to help them the most. I hate competing. That's the thing. For me, this is my core value is I don't want to compete. What I want to do is to change something within the law of attraction community because they don't want to hear it. It's like tough to budge. Like especially when they're used to listening to that and sense and they're so numbed out by the fact that they think that they know. Because I try everything out, right? I remember when I was starting out, I create a bunch of videos and I post it on, it's my fault, but I post it on, the even the spiritual community, even if they were spiritual and awakened, even if they think they know all to life, they don't, because they're getting from information from YouTube, and I understood that, but you know, it took time. You don't know until you execute. So my plan, I strategized. So I was so frustrated. So I was planning trying to get all these things that I wanted to happen, like interviews or getting tweet from big people, so it can help me to help them to execute on idea. Because the story that I have about law of attraction, even if people try to figure out this law of attraction thing, even if I tell them, they won't believe. They need to see results. The beginner mind is that, hey, is this working? I need to see if this result is working. I was like, you know what, F this. I need to strategize how I'm gonna do this. So I strategize, right? How I need to also strategize, right? Because goals and mission is still a strategy, a mission. How I'm gonna strategize to disrupt something because I need help. I can't do it. So, but along the way, I use my intuition. So remember, I am them, so I have to relate to them. In order to disrupt something, you need to relate to people. You cannot disrupt something if you cannot just relate to them. You cannot destroy it if you're not them. You have to know more than they do in each area. Even if they're an expert, you have to know each part that can make them aware of something, right? And people think that I'm doing this for the worse. No, I'm doing this for the better for them, because I know that they're suffering and pain and frustrated because nobody is doing that. I hope that all these law of attraction people understand that I'm doing it for them. Why I am frustrated, because they're not understanding that. So I wanted to do interviews, so that's my thing, right? I wanted to do interview, but also that become part of my strategy, right? I start seeking out uh, law of attraction expert to interview, because I wanted to help them, because I see the frustration within the communities that people have. I'm telling you, if you see the Facebook group of Law of Attraction, they are seeking help and nobody's helping because they're not seeing the clear picture. They're still have the mindset of the mentality of the average person, the masses. They're not thinking like the entrepreneur. They're not thinking outside the box. They're inside the box. if you can see that's how they're talking about it, right? You can see it clearly. But people are using it. This is just for just a quick fix in their life. And so I got frustrated. So what I do, I'd look on forums, I'd look on everything, try to figure out what to do, try to help people. It took me 5 years of growing and beginning to aware of how I can make changes in these community, right? So I'm glad that they let me do interview with them and become part of their friend, right? I didn't know that was gonna happen. That's the cool thing about it. That's the unexpected, right? I became friend with them. That's the cool thing. And the unexpected happened was the people who I interview, they're subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's unexpected. That's the cool thing. But these things can help me to disrupt something. And I'm not being mean. This is how I can make a dent in the universe. This is my unique signature, my unique gift for the world, because most law of attraction people are not gonna read books, whether they hate it or not, because they watch a couple of videos and here and there, but they're not gonna do it. That's part of my strategy. It's still me, and I think books are useful because it helped me to strategize my plan to do something that um, and also it helped people to get up a level, right? And I see that these videos are helping people to climb up whatever they want it to be. Now sometimes I fail a lot, okay? So I start doing interviews to help break free, because in order to disrupt something I must have like a social proof. That's what I do, because I already studied this a long way back. Social proof. um, People think the popularity is based on views, or social proof is based upon um, that. Oh shit, he got that, man. He must be authority, or he must like did something incredible. So I use that to my advantage. I have to understand the people that I'm targeting more than they do, and I have to understand how they're. It's I'm not accurate, okay? I'm just trying to figure out, because also people can strategize, but without execution, there is no results. There is nothing that can happen for you. So winning aspiration, a company must seek a particular place, and in making a particular way. And I choose YouTube for a couple reasons. I'm beginning to like YouTube more because it helped me execute on my ideas, it execute on my plan of disruption. Because it's I'm beginning to understand that. A strategy succeed is seem a little magic honorable and unexplainable event, but obviously in retrospect it isn't really. Strategy is about making specific choice to win in the marketplace. Strategy is a choice to do something, not others. Winning should be at the heart of any strategy. Strategy can seem mystical and mysterious. It isn't. It's a set of choices about winning. Um, so where to play? So I decided to. I tried a variant of which one works. I couldn't understand which area that I could see results. I couldn't see results on Facebook. Probably people have results on Facebook. I couldn't see results on Instagram. Um, I didn't want it for the likes. Um, I didn't want it for that. I didn't. I see here and there. I just use it just to do interviews. That's all or try to get interviews. That's it. But the most results I ever seen is YouTube, right? So this is where I focus is, right? Where a company will compete in which market with which customer or consumer. My consumer or my target market is on YouTube, right? That's how they get information. That's how most people who are on YouTube get information about the law of attraction, and they test this out. How to win. Decide what enable you to create a unique value and sustainable deliver that value to customer in a way that is distinct from their firm competition. So what makes me unique is my own experiences, because I just don't do law of attraction all the time. I It bored the fuck out of me. I hate it. It burns my soul, and that's not who I am. I know that I'm more, and so many people are just more than just this law of attraction tactic, right? This law of attraction, uh, whatever people do, visualize law of attraction all the time. And for the spiritual stuff, I have to become them too. I am them. In a This is way back, right? This is like 2000, was it 2013 to 2000, way before I ever got into YouTube. I was already spiritual. I mean, back when I was a kid, I talked to God, right? I pray, I talk to God. Um, I listen to my inner voice, but somehow it's been drowned out by the outside world. 2013 is where major things happen, and then I look out like, fuck, what the hell is happening, right? This weird thing that happened. And which one is better, execution or strategy? Execution is better, to test out your ideas, because your ideas, if you strategize and you plan all the time, but if you don't test them out, how would you know that it can gain traction? How can you know it's working or not? How can you know that it is to improve someone else's life? You have to see it with the scope. It takes time, and it takes time to measure, because you can't see right away. Like people take law of attraction videos, they consume it like as if they're in school, right? They just sit passively and watch it, but not create something awesome with that, because they want to find some magic pill that they can apply, and they don't have to work their whole life. They don't have to put effort anymore. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to know anything anymore. So oftentimes, I'm also a guide for law of attraction teachers, or especially in my YouTube videos, especially for entrepreneurs, because I have to know a little bit more than they do in order to help them to do whatever they're trying to do to teach their spiritual teaching, right? Because oftentimes they don't have that much knowledge, because they they only read spiritual books. I read different topics and subjects, from marketing, entrepreneur stuff, from psychology, from books of influence. I have to know more than they do, so I can lift them up. Because if I don't do that, how can I lift them up? How can I push them a little bit to go up a little? Because they're focusing on that. They don't want to study that. It's difficult. Those things they need to care about more than they do that, because it's like you're a teacher of this subject, but you also have to understand something more, right? You have to taste different things. So for me, when I execute, I see something happen. When I strategize and I don't put my ideas out there, or if I keep planning, or if I strategize a lot, then I don't gain traction with my ideas, or to disrupt something that I want happen, or to execute on my idea, right? It's like this. People who have ideas, or use intuition, and if they don't execute that, they lose that idea. It's like the subconscious mind. The subconscious, let's say a subconscious mind tell you to do something, but if you don't write the idea down, or you don't execute on that idea, you lose that idea. You forgot that idea, right? That's what happened. So you have to understand which playing field you want to play in. If you're good at Instagram, you should do that. If you're good at Twitter, you should do that. Mine, YouTube, because that's where most of the law of attraction people are at, or spiritual, I think. If I could tell them spiritual. Spiritual does not mean. Anyway, so it's a bonus though. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. Now, most people probably think like I'm always angry. I'm not always angry. But I'm always in my head though. I'm always in my head. I'm always trying to figure out how to make my message more clear, more better than it was yesterday. How can I disrupt something that people like all the things that I ever believe in is true at some point, but all the things that I have to let go of because it's not true anymore. Like I let go of a lot of things like conspiracy theories, um, and I let a lot of fluff go in the law of attraction spiritual community, even if they don't agree with me. People say, and it take time, like it take time to study, like really study and understand it more than they do. Like sure, people can be an expert in like the law of attraction, occult, what was it, occult, alchemy, witchcraft more than I do, but if they want things to happen, they have to understand other things than that, right? They have to understand more than that, um, because you're living in a fast-paced world with technology. If you understand how to get your message across, you win. So my unique way is this is my message and my message. This is my plan on disruption, and it's working. It's just take time to catch on, and that's my thought for today. Um, strategize. So strategize and execute, but make no mistake that you will going to have to understand that your strategy might fail, or your strategy will have loopholes, or your strategy will because you're going regardless if you strategize, you're going to make mistakes. That's my thoughts today. That's pretty much it today. I'll see you guys next time.